Hey, welcome back to Learning with Spud about real estate. I don't know why all of my buttons are unbuttoned on my shirt, but let's fix that. We don't need any instructions. No, I was just playing. Last time I don't really remember what we were talking about. I'm not even gonna lie to you. Now, today we're going to talk about what it takes to get approved for a loan. Um, there's a couple of things that they're going to look at. I'm not a lender, so I don't know exactly how that process will work. I do know how it works, but I'm not a lender, so I'm not going to say I know exactly how that process works because that's not my area of expertise. That's a lender's area of expertise. But I do know the basics of what they are looking for when you will be getting approved or denied for a loan. Before I get started into that, though, I do have to say a few things. Stay safe, stay quarantined. COVID-19 is something out here. It's real. Also, Black Lives Matter, man. I'll talk to everyone out there. Don't stay silent. Don't stay silent. Don't be silent. Say something. Speak up. To all of the allies out there. Listen, the only way that you can prove to me that you're an ally is stand up for injustice. And that doesn't have to be in the most major way. It can start in the smallest ways possible. When you hear your friends say something racist, or you see your colleagues do something to someone just because of their skin tone, correct them on that. And that shows me that you're a true ally. Now, let's get back to learning about real estate. Now that we are in COVID times, the loan process, it's a little bit more strenuous. I know a lot of people are like, oh my gosh, the interest rates are so low, blah, blah, blah. Let's get a loan today. It's not going to work like that for you people. Here to let you know now, since COVID has been going on and so many people are unemployed, restrictions are a little bit higher. So some things that they're going to look at when you're going to get the loan approval. First off, let's start here. They can go back as far as they want to. So beware and weary if you're trying to buy a home anytime soon. If you make major purchases, maybe a car, maybe a boat, I don't know what you're purchasing, it's probably going to be hard for you to get a loan because you have a major commitment already. And on taking a house, unless your income allows it, it's going to be hard for most people who make major purchases to make the purchase of a home through the loan process. But it is possible. Interest rates are low. Last time I saw, they still were below 3%. They can go up to 3%. I don't want anybody saying, "Oh, Spud told me, Anthony told me that it was 3%. It was low, below 3%." No, they could go up to 3%. Depends on which bank or institution you go through. But they're going to look at your credit score, of course. Speaking of credit score, the demand for a good credit score has risen. Now, before COVID happened, I say a strong 580 credit score can get you a house. It get you a loan. It might get you $150,000 loan, but it get you a loan. Now that won't get you looked at twice. The minimum credit score that they're going to be looking for now in these times is around a 630, 640, if not better. Most institutions. So that's one thing. If that's the first hurdle, if you're thinking about getting a home, thinking about getting a loan, and your credit score is not at least at 630, I would try to wait that out and fix my credit a little bit more. They're also going to look at how long you've been at your job, how much you're making at your job. They're going to look at how well, yes, they look at your credit report, but they're also going to look at your background. Okay, so who are you? Where are you from? Can you verify all the information that you've given us? But the main thing I want to talk about today, which is the title of the episode, is the front end and back end of it all. So a lot of people are like, well, I meet the qualifications. I got the credit score. I'm ready to go. I got the income. What's stopping me? Debt to income ratio. So there are two ratios that you have to jump over that hurdle before you can be safely approved for a loan. I'll say that. The first one is the front end ratio. I'm going to read you the definition. The front end ratio, or total house payment to income ratio, measures the proposed monthly house note, includes principal and interest payment added to, if applicable, 1 month's property tax, 1 month's hazard insurance, 1 month's mortgage insurance, and any monthly home association dues. So that basically just said the front end ratio is all your things that come along with your what you're paying for your house currently. So, I mean, because everybody's like, well, I'm going to get a house. They're still going to look at the house you got. You know, if it's an apartment, they're going to look at that. If it's a townhouse, they're going to look at that. And whatever applies, whatever bills that comes along with that, whether it's property tax, you know, I just read them to you. They're going to add that to being your total house payment on the current house that you have. But it is the front end ratio, your total house payment to income ratio, measures the proposed monthly house note against the borrower's stable monthly income. So let me say that again. The front end ratio measures the proposed monthly house note against the borrower's stable monthly income. Hence the word stable. Now, a lot of people are, you know, independent entrepreneurs. Great. Keep going for it. If your entrepreneurial path isn't stable, it'll be hard for you to get along. But if you're all stable, you make this money or this amount of money every month, like clockwork, have nothing to worry about. It needs to be higher than your monthly home expenses, though. So that's your front end ratio. Boom. So the house note and all the bills that come with that house note, taxes and insurances and things tied together, and that's your and they compare it to how much you bring in stable income a month, and that's your front end ratio. Most people have a front end ratio of about 30-some percent. 30-some percent. I ain't gonna give you a real one because, you know, you give somebody a real number like 31, 35, they're like, oh my gosh, it's supposed to be that number. It's not. 30-some percent is your front end ratio normally. 20 to 30-some percent is normally your front end ratio, depending on how strict the institution is. Next, you have your back end ratio. So your back end ratio, by definition, also known as the debt to income ratio, measures the recurring monthly debt obligations, i.e., house note, revolving credit card payments, child support payments, school loan payments, etc., against the borrower's stable monthly income. So, why did I not get approved for that loan? What's stopping me from getting that loan? I have the money. I have the job. I have the credit score. Well, how much debt are you already accumulating month to month? That's going to be the main thing that holds you back. Okay. So if you do have a stable job making good money, and your credit score is where it needs to be, you need to keep in mind the front end ratio and the back end ratio. Front end ratio, I know it's crazy because they sound real similar, but they're two different ratios that you have to surpass in order to get approved for a loan. The front end ratios and the back end ratios, honestly, are probably a lot more strict now. I will research that information and add it to the tagline down below in the comments. But the front end ratio, remember, that's how much you pay for your home and all of those taxes and insurance associated with it versus how much you make monthly. So they're really stretching to see how much you know, where your money really goes, because, and the reason it makes sense why they do that. Okay. Can your money survive you paying your monthly home note every month? Yeah, it can. But backtrack it too, on the back end ratio, let's add all the other bills you got that recur every month, and plus your home bill, and can your finances keep that going, plus what we are about to loan you. I know it sounds real simple, but there's some things, that's one main thing that stops everybody, and everybody always has that question. And when you explain it to them, a lot of people are like, huh? But it's real simple. Don't make any major purchases if you're on to purchase a house. Make sure your credit score is like 630 or above. Make sure you have a stable job. I know we want to count it, and I know they probably should in some light try to count it possibly, but unemployment does not count for a means of income. It does not count when you're trying to purchase a home. All right, keep a stable job, and then make sure your debt to income ratio with your home note and your home note plus all of your other bills are lower than what you bring in, at least below 30%, and you'll be good to go. So this has been Anthony with Norman and Associates Realty. Excuse all the background stuff. My roommate, we're gonna get some bigger space, and we won't see that in about a month or so. But I want everybody to stay safe out there, stay woke, stay protected, and until next time, peace.